Welcome to Through the Drama. Chris Harrison and Lauren Zima with you. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday. Hope you're having a great day. LZ, scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for our festivities tonight?
We are going to see a soccer game.
We are.
I don't remember the specifics, but I am excited to go to the Austin FC Stadium, which I love here in Austin.
Yes.
I actually really like soccer games because they're fast. There's no stopping and starting like football. You know, football's like stop, start, stop, start. We're going backwards, we're going forwards. Soccer, they're just running. And so that's fun. And it's really easy to see if they did a goal or not. Mm-hmm. And really good snacks at Austin FC. Oh, and it's the sport that's most like Harry Potter. So I do love soccer for all those reasons.
I just want to warn you, though. So we are going to the Q2 Arena, which is Austin FC's stadium, but they're not playing tonight. We're actually going to see the United States men's national team. Team USA is playing Saudi Arabia in what's called the CONCACAF Gold Cup. I'll explain all this later, but we're going to
think you need to explain more.
Team USA. So just know that the face
Yeah.
paint tonight needs to be red, white, and blue. We're cheering for America.
America. Okay. Well, what I'm most concerned about is if they will still do at the stadium the cool, it's like colorful smoke that they do, which again makes me feel like I'm in Harry Potter.
No, they're probably not going to have the Slytherin colors. I also want to talk to you about one of your favorite film franchises.
Oh, yes.
So I know you're excited about this. I'm not as big of a Jurassic Park person as LZ is, but
I sometimes fall asleep to Jurassic Park.
That is so dark.
It's comfortable.
No wonder you're not sleeping. Jurassic World Rebirth premieres July 2nd worldwide. How many? I don't even know. I should probably know this. How many have there been?
I mean, Jurassic Park, the Lost World. Then there was like a third one. And then I think they did 3 of the most recent with Chris Pratt, because in the third one, they brought back the original people. And so now they're doing like a whole nother rebirth with Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey. The cast is really great. And I am actually excited. I often am not on board with the sequel reboot thing, but I think this looks like they're going to do a good job with it. Although I stand by the Steven Spielberg dinosaurs were better than the CGI ones ever were. Go back to the animatronics. I don't believe the dinosaurs when I see them.
It's true. By the way, I agree. So the crew, the cast and crew, they're out, glad handing, shaking
Promoting
hands,
and
kissing
premiering the
babies.
film.
Yeah, promoting and premiering. So at the premiere in London, Scarlett Johansson
Yes.
and Jonathan Bailey are best of friends, and they shared a kiss, just a friendly kiss. But that kiss, LZ, was smack dab on the lips.
I love it.
That's the kiss.
I love it.
Now,
2 sexy people.
Jonathan Bailey,
Yes.
you don't have to be worried about him.
He's an openly gay man.
Openly gay man. So Colin Jost, not going to have to worry.
No.
But what is your opinion on the mouth kiss?
The kiss?
Yes.
Oh, you and I might feel differently about this.
I think we do.
Is it because you're more of like is this the germaphobe part of you?
No. I'm not going to go, all Howie Mandel on everybody. But to me, the mouth kiss is an intimate thing.
Oh.
I don't mouth kiss anybody. Do you? I've never seen you mouth
Breaking news to me about our marriage, but no. Listen, I have kissed my girlfriends on the mouth before. Yes.
Okay.
Like in a moment where you're like, oh my gosh, I love you so much. Like I'm so grateful for our friendship, and you just grab their face and just smooch them. It's kind of like kissing a baby.
Well, I'll say this: I don't love it. Again, I don't think this is a problem for like.
If I'm being honest, I just don't think this is something straight men do. Women do it, and gay men do it, and I think straight men are not doing this.
Here's the thing.
You should do it more.
I would say this.
European men kiss each other more.
I would say this, openly gay or otherwise, I wouldn't want to see a man come up to you and kiss you on the lips. I don't want to see that.
Oh.
Nor would I ever want a man or woman to come up and kiss me on the lips in front of you. I think it's a little disrespectful.
Wow. Okay. We feel totally differently about this.
Agree to disagree?
I wouldn't care.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Do you care about open toes on the red carpet for men?
We are so divided on the Jurassic World.
I feel like I'm hating on Jonathan Bailey, and I'm not.
Who, by the way, is the loveliest, kindest, most charismatic guy. I'm a big fan of his.
Yes, and by the way, I am too. For the record, love Jonathan Bailey. This isn't a haterade on Jonathan Bailey, but let's put up the picture of him promoting the film in sandals,
in flip-flops,
in flip-flops. Like, hey, I'm taking off this jumpsuit and I'm going to go to the lake.
I absolutely love it. Here's what you need to check yourself on with the flip-flop hate
Okay.
is, let's remember that before recent years, red carpets were not such a like fashion heavy moment. Do you know what I mean? Social media really changed that. If you go look at red carpets and press tours and junkets from the 90s, people are in jeans. They're chilling. Like the Oscars people dressed up for. But I remember famously the premiere of Charlie's Angels, Drew Barrymore and Cameron Diaz like wore tank tops and showed up in their jeans, kind of drunk with a bottle of champagne. They didn't used to be so intense. And I love that he's taking it back to a little bit of a casual, chic look.
Okay. Completely disagree on this one as well. But this is what some of the comments said. He's handsome and can do whatever he wants. True. He's very handsome. Jumper and flip-flops, because why not? His Riz, that's a good thing, is just off the charts. Yeah. Here's the rule. Gentlemen, you can't show your toes on the red carpet. You can't really show your toes.
But why? Women do in heels.
Double standard. There is a double standard, and there is a reason and a good, I think there are times a double standard should be. And this is one of those cases. Women, you can show your toes. They're cute. They're beautiful most of the time, not all the time. But Jonathan Bailey, no with the toes.
You're so wrong. And I think you're underestimating how many people want to see Jonathan Bailey's feet.
All right.
So when we come back, will we disagree on more? I'm not sure. But luckily we have Loni Coombs to moderate us. She is going to give us the latest on the Diddy trial. And Matthew Perry, we lost the beloved Friends star. Well, now the people who seem to be responsible for that are facing legal implications. The bombshell that just happened.
Welcome back to Through the Drama. We're being joined now by our legal expert from Merit TV, Loni Coombs. Loni, thanks for joining us once again this week.
Of course. Great to see you guys.
We'll talk about the Diddy trial here in just a little bit. But first, big breaking news a couple of days ago in the death of Matthew Perry. The Dr. Salvador Plasencia, another doctor in this case, has pled guilty to 4 counts of distribution of ketamine. This was part of a plea bargain, but he still could serve up to 40 years. What is this deal and how is it good for him and the prosecution?
Yeah, so this was, they did this investigation to try and hold more people accountable for what happened here to Matthew Perry. And they found this network of 5 people who are essentially exploiting his known addiction and using him as a commodity. There were text messages, he's a moron, how much money can we get from him? Yeah. So out of the 5 people, there were 2 doctors. This doctor, Dr. Plasencia, he was the one who got a connection to Matthew Perry and was told he wanted ketamine. He reached out to a doctor friend of his, Dr. Chavez, who actually had a legitimate ketamine clinic and was supplying him with the ketamine. He's already pled guilty. That doctor's pled guilty along with Matthew Perry's live-in personal assistant who was actually injecting him with the ketamine, and a go-between between Matthew Perry and another defendant named the Ketamine Queen. She's the only one now that has not pled guilty yet. She's still set for trial. Now, what does Dr. Plasencia get out of this plea deal? Well, he's not going to trial. He's not facing 40 years in prison. And he's essentially telling the prosecution, I will work with you. I will testify for you if you need me to in the trial against the Ketamine Queen. And I'm essentially throwing myself at your mercy. Hopefully you will recommend a lower sentence to the judge when I am sentenced.
Go ahead.
Well, this whole thing is just so sad because Matthew Perry, obviously beloved star of Friends, open about his struggles with addiction. And I wonder what you think will happen here to will these people all face some kind of conviction? Because certainly if I was a juror sitting there, I would think I loved Friends. I loved this man. And it was so sad, everything that he went through.
Exactly. And I think that's why these people are taking a plea deal, right? They don't want to risk it with a jury. I mean, and when you read some of the text messages that they were sending back and forth, how they were literally just taking advantage of Matthew Perry in a very harsh way. He almost died before this incident. And they were like, okay, he's okay. Let's keep selling him. Let's keep supplying him. They really did not care. And I think they're very mindful of that. And people knew Matthew Perry's struggles. He was very open about it. He was trying to help other people. So I think there's so much sympathy and empathy for him. And I think they will want to hold these people responsible.
When you see that text, and you're right, where the doctor said he's a moron who could be exploited for money. When you see that text, that's
inhuman.
And not that any life should be more important than the other, but like Lauren said, you killed one of the most beloved figures
Also, I'm sorry,
in the country.
Weren't they wondering if something happens to this guy? It seems like they had no regard for what could happen to them if something did happen to him. It's sort of nonsensical.
Well, that's a great point, Lauren. So really, this is kind of a new direction that law enforcement and prosecutors are going in, holding people accountable. For many years, if someone overdosed, nobody was prosecuted. They just felt like it was an accident. We feel bad for the person, but that's it. They kind of, it's your responsibility. You made those choices. Now they recognize, one, addiction is so overpowering and we need to help try and support them through it. And two, like you said, there's so much awareness and so much love for him. They did a months-long investigation to uncover this network and find exactly who was providing these drugs to him.
Well, maybe this can be an example because we certainly have a drug crisis in this country and we need these people to be held accountable. I worry about our kids all the time. I worry about stuff like, fentanyl, and I don't mean from a drug use, but, just what it could be in or they could be exposed to or whatever. And so I'm glad they're being held accountable.
Loni, so the ketamine queen, they call her, but Jasveen Sangha is her name. She's set to go to trial in August. So this would be the one person, I guess, that is going to take this to trial unless she pleads out in the next month or so.
That's right. Now, she is facing 10 years to life on her charges. That's huge. The prosecution may, to your point, decide we don't want to offer her a plea deal. We want to go to trial. We want to make an example of her. But she can always come in and plead guilty to everything and just say, Judge, give me a break here. I'm pleading guilty. So we'll have to see how that plays out.
I'm predicting now we're going to get a Netflix documentary, the ketamine queen. It's just...
Well, I am glad, for one, that the prosecution has done a very good job of sussing this out, making an example, and making this a charge that is going to stick for all of these people. So hopefully maybe this sends ripples through the community. Hopefully it'll do some good. I want to turn our attention to the Diddy trial because that continues in New York. And a pretty explosive week where the jurors started out by having to watch freak-off videos that Cassie Ventura had.
Yeah, that's right. And, everyone's trying to look at their faces and see how they're responding because no one else can see these videos. No one else can hear these videos. They're just watching the reactions of the jurors. And the jurors are trying to be pretty stoic, but there's a couple that reporters are saying, are showing some reaction to it. But the amazing thing, you guys, is that's not even necessarily the most dramatic thing that happened in court this week. This trial is sort of falling apart around the edges here as we're getting close to the prosecution case because we've lost a juror, right? And there was a lot of drama around that. Then the judge got really mad at the attorneys because they had a confidential closed hearing about another juror that might get kicked off. And apparently something was leaked to a media outlet who wrote an article and put it out there. That next morning, that judge had those attorneys in there and said, who is the source here? Because it was only you guys here in this hearing. One of you did it. Who did it? And all the attorneys was like, not me, not me. And he said, well, somebody's lying here and I'm going to find out. And there may be civil contempt charges. There may be criminal contempt charges. I will find out. This is your warning. So you better, no more leaks here. We've got to get this case to the jury.
What does it mean that I know the one juror was lost because there was some confusion over where he said he lived, I think. Now this other juror could potentially be on the table. What does that mean for the case? Do they have enough alternates that it will continue? There won't be a mistrial or anything?
They do. They've got 6 alternates, right? So one is coming in. They still have 5 left. We should be fine with the alternates. But it stirs up sort of drama about the jury because the one that got kicked off, apparently he said during jury selection he lived in the Bronx, which would make him qualify. But then he was telling some court staff last week that he had moved to New Jersey. When the judge asked him questions about it, the judge said he was kind of changing his answers and literally, he couldn't trust him. And it sounded like maybe he was finagling to get on the jury.
He wanted to be part of the Diddy trial. Yeah.
Exactly. And so they kicked him off, but it makes you wonder, what about the other jurors? So it just kind of raises questions for people.
As we head down the home stretch of this trial, Loni, as you just said, it's getting a little messy and things are kind of coming apart at the seams. How are we looking as far as trying to get an indictment, a prosecution against Diddy?
Yeah, well, we're getting close to the end, which is good, right? So the prosecution should rest their case by Friday. Tomorrow is a day off. They should rest the case by Friday. The defense will start, and the defense has said we're only going to take between 2 to 5 days for our trial. So we should be able to get to closing arguments and get this to the jury, hopefully before July 4th. And the faster, the better.
And Diddy is not going to testify, right? Do you think that's the right move or the wrong move?
Well, it's the right move. but I will believe it when I see it. His attorney has said he's probably not going to testify, but you never know. I mean, that's a decision that he will make himself without his attorneys. I mean, they can advise him, but it's his own decision, and he will make that just before they end their case.
I guess one of the other big things the jurors have dealt with this week is they've been seeing text messages between Diddy and Cassie Ventura.
Yeah. So the prosecution has put on what are called summary witnesses, where they put on a bunch of this information, just boom, boom, boom through charts. So the text messages, the videos, a lot of these things that have been testified to, but now the jury has seen it sort of in an organized form. And so they're seeing these text messages, which they've heard about before, but they're seeing them again as kind of reinforcing the prosecution's case.
Sorry.
You
I just had one last question for the witness here. Is there going to be the list? Again, we've asked you this every week. Where's the Diddy list? Everyone keeps waiting. There have to be more names involved. We have not gotten anybody involved.
And I don't think there will be.
Yeah.
I don't think there will be. There was so much that people, they thought there were going to be these big orgies, celebrities and names and witnesses. I don't think we're going to see it. I don't even think we're going to see Christina Corman, who everybody thought was going to testify. She's Diddy's right-hand person. And in this civil lawsuit, she's considered to be a co-conspirator. But so far, no one's saying they're calling her. So it's like, where are these people?
You know what? It's a good reminder to not believe everything you read, because I agree with all the rumors going around. I thought we were going to see some celebrity names revealed. I thought Diddy was going to put people out there. What will be wild is if he's not convicted after all this. I guess we're going to have to wait and see, but then we'll start to ask, where does his career go from here? Yeah. Well, Loni, thank you so much. You always give us such great insight. And of course, we'll have you on because it sounds like this thing is winding down. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great to be with you.
All right, when we come back, what should we have named our kids? Well, you won't believe what Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly named theirs.
Welcome back. Our thanks to Loni Coombs. She is so phenomenal at breaking down these cases and putting them in, form that we can understand. Mm-hmm. But in that segment, and we've had Loni on the last few weeks talking about the Diddy trial. And what has really been sticking in my craw is the sketch artist. Why, in this day and age, in 2025, are we still using a sketch artist for trials? This makes no sense to me.
It's so bizarre. Like, get a camera person in there. I understand that there are decisions made about whether a trial should be live streamed to the public. I get that. And I am not asking to watch the freak-offs. But why, when this is a trial the whole world is interested in, can we not just have somebody taking photos to distribute instead of these sketches? Let's put more of them up. And if you listen to this, go watch it on YouTube so you can see these, or on Merit to see these photos. The fact that the sketch artist is also having to write out, because they're showing text messages as part of the evidence, so they're handwriting out visuals of text messages. We have the technology to better this moment. Then there's that photo where he's kind of like or the drawing where he's tackling. Is he hugging? Is he tackling? This isn't helping me understand what's going on. This
are his teeth that yellow? I don't know. It really is bizarre that someone could be sitting in Central Park and you're doing caricatures with people with big heads and little bodies. And is this what you aspire to? Is this like going to the pros when they walk into the park and they're like, Larry, we need you over at the courthouse. You're doing the Diddy trial. Oh, great. Hold on. I got to do this horse and this carriage real quick, and then I'm going to move to the courthouse. It just makes no sense. Have the judge pull out his iPhone. Boom, one picture. We got it.
I actually think the person doing these sketches is probably better than what this work is. They're having to furiously draw. Like, they're probably better than this. It's not even a good representation of their work. All right, on to some other potentially bad choices. So we just had to talk about this. Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly's baby name has been revealed.
Yes.
They had a daughter together. I believe, it's hard to tell from the name if I'm being honest.
Yes.
Named Saga Blade.
Fox Baker.
That is the name of it. Sounds like a law firm, except for
I thought it sounded like a military, like whiskey, tango, foxtrot.
I just keep, I was thinking about it earlier and I just kept saying, hi, my name is Saga. Hi, I'm Saga.
Saga Blade.
Hi, I'm Saga Blade. It's a lot.
So, well, there were rumors that the name was going to be Celestial Seed. Celestial Seed.
Which it's not. So this is better?
Okay, I was going to say, is this better?
This is better.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Celestial Seed.
Saga,
you know what?
Saga Blade.
Sometimes I forget, though. I was actually, when you're reading about it, it brings up one of those articles of like, but here are all the other weird celebrity baby names there have been. And I got to be honest, at this point, Apple is normalized to me. Remember when it was a big deal that Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin named their daughter Apple?
Yeah.
Well, now she's like 19 years old. So we're 19 years into Apple.
Kim and Kanye were doing the directional thing.
North, Saint, yes. We had on it Blue Ivy. That was a unique name.
Yep.
Nicolas
Beyonce.
Cage named his child Kal-El after Superman.
Oh, Kal-El, yeah.
Yeah. No. There's a hyphen in there.
Oh, Cal.
Yeah, like after the Superman characters. Busy Phillips named her daughters Cricket and Birdie, I think. I forgot about that when they were born. So we gotta maybe give celebrities credit for normalizing new and different names.
I feel lame. I was just like, I named my kids Josh and Taylor.
Right. Do better.
Well, your family kind of the same. John,
Lauren,
Christina.
Everybody my age is named Lauren. At least if you're Saga, you're not Saga P because you're one of 5 sagas in your class at school.
Try going to school late 70s, 80s named Chris. There were 4 of us. It was like The Bachelor when it was like the Laurens, Lauren B, Lauren A. It was Chris H, Chris A, Chris B.
You know
a lot of Chris.
My favorite celebrity name as of late, actually, that I forgot. Sia, the singer, named her daughter Somersault not long ago.
I like that.
At least you can say, hi, I'm Summer Salt.
Thank you so much for joining us today. You can watch us each and every day right here on Merit. We will do it again because we have a lot more drama to get through.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. My network, Merit TV, has it all.
Now, let me blow your mind.
Merit TV's got the news that matters.
The selection of a new pope.
Entertainment you crave.
Busted.
Everybody in a good mood today?
And live events.
Surprise.
What am I, chopped liver?
With serious punch.
Big shot.
Go to merittv.com and download the Merit TV app today.